Okay, so we're reacting it to some cover-up slash blast over tattoos and questions, I think. So let's see what we got here.
All right, so this one is from Sam. It says, "Hope you're well. I wasn't too keen on my original chess piece. I fell victim to not speaking up or not wanting to offend the artist. It just wasn't what I wanted. It was the first and only time I used numbing cream, and I had a horrible heel too. Anyways, thought I'd try to blast over before considering blackout. Just about finished my blackout sleeve, but need to cut in closer to the armpit before I send it in so I don't get blasted by you. Ha ha. If I
You
don't,
might get blasted anyway. Depends on the mood I'm in.
Great. If I do blackout, does the third nipple get a pass, or that got to go to? Oh, I see.
Definitely
I see.
got to go. Like, there's no question. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
look
I
at
see,
your
I
third
see the
nipple.
birthmark. And
No,
it's
it's
not
like a actual third nipple.
no laughing matter. It has to go. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, treat it like the other nipples. You have the nipple needs to go. Unless
they all
you're
have to go.
really fond of
If
it.
you had 9 nipples, they all have to go. If you got a nipple anywhere on your body, get rid of that motherfucker. So, what was it he was saying? He was pressured by his artist to do something he didn't feel comfortable with. Whatever that means, this tattoo is far too small that's in there.
Yeah, it is
And-
really too tiny, I think.
Yeah, so I think better would have been to take the Reaper and blast it over the entire chest. Like, not just cover the tattoo in center, like cover all of it. Even go up onto the neck, because the neck is not great either.
Yeah.
It's like super fucking
They
small.
might like the script and stuff.
Yeah,
though.
but whoever the artist was that was doing this, like they let this whole thing. I don't know if it was the guy that came in to get this tattoo's idea, but like they should have never done it this way. Like if you would have showed me this neck tattoo with the script the way it is and whatever the hell that is in the center, I would have been like, "You're gonna do this? This is insane. Like, this is nonsense. Like, do the snake head big, maybe have the skull. Maybe you do the snake and the skull. Whatever the fuck else is going on in there.
Yeah,
No, that's all too crazy.
it is a lot.
It's just so much. Like, why is it all so tiny?
I don't know. I don't
And
know. I feel like this
off center too.
I feel like this is of a time.
I
I don't know.
don't know
this
that
is
it's
new.
very old. Like, I don't think this is very old at all. I think this is
Right.
like this. You could tell me this was done 2 or 3 weeks ago. You know, like I see this stuff happening around the city.
I think like the one thing that really bums me out is like these situations, they can go two ways. Like, yeah, you should always speak up to your tattoo artist if they're not doing exactly what you want, but at the same time you need to listen to your tattoo artist
Well, here's the thing.
when they tell you something's not going to work.
I don't know how it went down.
Yeah.
But someone had a bad idea.
And then like I don't think this is as good as it could be. So I think maybe you should have spoken up if you wanted it bigger.
Oh, I mean, the only thing that's sized well is the script, and it's too big,
Right.
right? And next to everything else. So the Reaper is kind of fun.
Yeah, I like the style.
There's nothing in there that you can't cover up, though, right? Like if you actually wanted to make the Reaper like out of this,
Yeah, you could shade over all of this.
none of that work in there is strong enough that it could survive a couple rounds of opaques and black. Like nothing in there.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with that though.
All of the work that I've covered with opaques and black was more solid than that. It's like the other day when we were showing, Alex was like looking at like my old bodysuits, and she was like, "Oh, that black went over all that red."
Yeah, and you were really red.
It's like,
yeah.
yes, it will
Yeah.
cover anything. Like,
Yeah, I think she was pretty shocked to see what you did have underneath,
But
and I
there's-
think it can be really shocking. For
like
people.
still people who think you can't black out color tattoos.
I know.
In fact, Hood himself, on his booking form at one point, said that color tattoos aren't a prime candidate for blackout.
Yeah.
It's like, you know why they say that? It's because most people don't want to do more than one pass. And it's an acknowledgement that most people just want to come and get the thing.
Yeah.
And black and gray blacks out like nothing.
Yeah.
Right, like
Oh, it's easy to go over.
It's like there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it, there barely is anything there. A lot of times, especially soft black and gray,
You did have moments where some of the color was visible and it did drive you a bit crazy. But you were patient. You just ran it over again.
Oh yeah, just do the work. My arms were full color, both of them, and they were both blacked out between 4 and 6 times.
And they were solid black. Like, you guys, like, I live with him. You've seen the photos, but I live with him. They were black.
Yeah, I was very, very black. I was about as black as you can be, and it can all still be covered.
Yep.
But like, also the bright red roses on my head were smothered out by opaques. And we recently just did that here too, on the tip of my forehead. That was all red in there. Ain't no red anymore.
No.
And that was solid too. So it's like, there's nothing in here that tells me if you don't want to make this Reaper more than a blast over, that you can't do that. Like, these colors are barely in there.
Yeah.
Like, they're showing, because any amount of color you put into negative space is going to show through, right? Like, even if you half saturate color into negative space, you're still going to see some color in there.
Yep.
But like, if you were to do this level of saturation on me, you wouldn't see any of it. Like, none of this would show through the black. So like, these colors are not bulletproof enough that if you don't mind sitting for it, you can build out the Reaper.
Yeah.
And like, you don't even have to worry about changing your tones either. Like, I think a good smoke silver opaque would just bury all of this color in 2 sessions.
Yeah, you think, hey?
Oh yeah. Like,
there
would be nothing left of any of that shit. I wouldn't think that the guy who did the first round of color tattoos would be capable of doing it though.
No, you have to find someone who can pack really well.
Yeah, if you get like a color packer, like whoever did this black, like, this is fresh, but it looks pretty fucking...
It looks packed.
It looks pretty packed, but like, well, I'd like to see it healed, but he might be able to do the job.
Yeah.
Right, and then you can just build the new details in black and opaque and call it a fucking day. But with that said, that's part of why I think that this Reaper could have been much bigger. Right, like, you could have taken up everything here, and that's the only failing here. It was on the right track because it's at least it's bigger than the other stuff, but it still could be more aggressive. And I like the style of him. I like this chunky outline.
Yeah, I like the
bold lines.
Yeah.
I like the comic style. Like, the really graphic outline is really cool, and it's great for cover ups too. But yeah, I think you could do more on this if you want. And you don't have to black it out. You can build a scene around this.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
You can get rid of most of what's here without too much trouble.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next waffle, as you call it. This one seems to be from Tiffany. Says, well, the artist dropped the gun on my hand and I had to have something put on there. Oh, interesting. Okay. This is what ended up. Lines are awful, and I don't even know what that says. It's okay. Hello Kitty bow. Okay, it's supposed to be Hello Kitty bow. Help! What can I do?
Yeah, we've had this tattoo on the show before.
Red out the whole hand or black it out. The red is actually done really well, unfortunately. Keep up the great work. I love the YouTube and the updates on your journey. Thanks, Tiffany, not your average grandma. So the artist literally dropped the machine on their hand.
Where?
That's what they said.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, they said they dropped the gun. Yeah, we don't call them guns anymore, guys.
That's really weird.
They dropped the machine on their
people,
hand.
Some people call them guns.
But so, like, that would make quite the line that you would have to try and deal with.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the first time this was sent in, that wasn't the story.
No, I know that was definitely left out.
It was just, here, check out my tattoo.
Yeah, check out my
Hello
Kitty
like,
bow.
This is why this is. I mean, I don't really think it's that bad. It's certainly not
it's cute.
Great.
I mean, I don't know that I'd want this on my hand.
And the red is done really well.
Yeah.
But like, it looks like she takes color really well as well.
She does take color really well.
This is a scenario where it's basically full blackout or nothing.
Yeah.
But this is one of those times when, like, because if you're going to get into the arena of laser with this, like, that color's not going anywhere for a long, long time. You might not live to see it. I've had people push back on that, but it's like, how much laser do you do? I do laser. I know what laser is. We don't have a shitty laser back there. We have a brand new laser.
It's
fucking
nice.
Pico laser.
It's a nice laser.
So whenever anyone will say, oh, it depends on the laser. No, it doesn't depend on anything like that. There's just a lot of misinformation out there. Laser doesn't work that well. It's very slow. It can work, but it's going to be a long road.
Yeah.
A faster road, if you really want this thing going, is going to be to black it out. But like, it's going to be such a weird blackout because you don't have a black sleeve connecting to this.
Yeah.
So you would just have like a frostbitten hand.
I honestly, I don't hate this. Like, I honestly don't.
Bad.
I don't think it's that bad. I think I would love to see, like, I would want to see it in the context with the rest of what you have going on. Maybe you want to put something here to connect it so it's not just like a floating bow. Like, maybe
we
like
almost had the reverse of the last one.
Pretty rose or something.
I was like, oh, you have everywhere to build off of this.
Yeah.
And the colors are barely in there.
Yeah.
This is solid and there's not much room to build off of it.
Yeah. And
you want to
the
cover
issue.
this, you can go down to your knuckles for good coverage, and then you have to use the rest of your sleeve.
Yeah, and I just don't know how, like, what do you do? Turn it into a rose? Like, I don't even think that's possible.
Oh, no,
it's too bold.
There's too much, like, between the red and the black interplay, to just stamp something over top of this is going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Right? It's just like you're going to see this thing right through everything else.
I think just adding to it is the only other option to me.
Unfortunately, the guy who did this saturated too well.
Oh yeah,
like you wanted the battered, shitty version of this tattoo if you were looking to cover it up.
Yeah.
You know, like you wanted the one where you could see through the red, and like the black is not solid, and like isn't this chunky and hard lined. I don't know. I don't think the lines are very sharp.
Look, I wonder how big this whoops was that they had to put such a huge bow over it.
How do you drop a tattoo machine on someone's hand? And now it's like, well, I guess we have to tattoo you. Can you imagine doing that?
Yeah.
Like, just like, oh, I just put a line on you. That would fucking suck, too. That would hurt.
The thing is like, shit happens and never say never.
I've never seen it happen. And all the time I've been around this.
Yeah,
I've never even heard of it happening.
I keep a pretty good hold on my machine. But
this is where you're like, I did it last week.
No. I'm just remembering a moment. First tattoo I did on a human being. I gave Nolan a freckle in his tattoo.
Dropping the machine is different from accidentally touching down.
I did, yeah. But
accidentally touching down happens every day.
Yeah.
That happens every fucking day.
But like,
and you just keep a good poker face because no one needs to know.
Well, exactly.
That happens every day.
But like, I just wonder how bad this line was.
You know how many little whoopsies I've been a part of?
Oh yeah.
Like thousands. Where it's like, oh, didn't mean to do. Like those things happen every day to the best artists in the world. You're working with a human being.
Well, they move.
It's not the same thing as I dropped my tattoo machine on you.
Yeah, I'm trying not to judge though, because like both people have sides to the story. I just wonder how bad it was. That this is how you covered it.
I mean, it would have had to have been a pretty big, because that's probably why the lines are so bold.
Yeah.
Right, and particularly around the bow. So it's probably in there.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's bad enough that you need to get rid of it. And if you are going to get rid of it, you've got a lot of thinking to do, because no matter which way you go, it's going to be a huge, huge matzo ball.
Yeah.